If you're a manager, a business owner, and you have a team to work with, every word you say matters a lot. Because what might be a slight casual comment from your end can actually end up being emotionally devastating for somebody who's at the receiving end, because they are not in a position of power. And anything slightly negative can get magnified. Therefore, communication is a very big skill set to have as a manager. And in this video, we are going to break down 3 kinds of critical communication skills every manager, every leader, every team lead, every supervisor needs to have. Hi, my name is Rai. I'm a former radio and television host, and out here I'm your public speaking and communications coach. Now, when you become a manager, you are not dealing with just one person. You're dealing with more than one person, and they're not they're not machines, they're people. So the same thing you say can have different repercussions on different people. One compliment may motivate one person enormously and then make no difference to another person. One person might be very self-motivated, another person not at all. One person might be very cool-headed, while another may be very hot-headed. And therefore, the first thing you have to remember is different strokes, different folks does have a place in the workplace. Even though it might seem apparently unfair to have different ways of dealing with different people or having different expectations from different people, but it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not math. So with that in mind, let's talk about the 3 different ways of communicating with your team. Number 1 is the public speaking part, where you're addressing the whole team at the same time, or you're speaking to a whole board, or you're in a conference or giving out a presentation. This is one of the skills you absolutely have to master, because it's no more one-on-one interaction. It's dealing with different people with different attention span and different priorities, and to get them all on the same page is your goal. If you want me to make a special video and break it down further as to what should be a manager's communication skills as far as public speaking, speaking to a whole team at the same time is concerned, I will make a separate video on this, and you can subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up. So one is this oral communication. The next is interpersonal communication, where you're not dealing with the whole team, and this is where you can use a bit of that different strokes, different folks thing, and you can further your speech, you can further tailor it to the demands and needs of the person. Always remembering that it's a person and not a machine. What is going on in their life will directly affect the way they are performing at work. So that being said, I can also make a separate video on this thing, and I can then list down all the different criteria you have to keep in mind when speaking to a person one-on-one. Because when you call a person aside to speak, it becomes very personal. Unlike in a team, like if you call up a team and say, we had a horrible year, all of you did so bad, and this was not what I expected from you, it's one thing. But when you call a person aside to a meeting room, and you say, what, not happy with your performance, then it gets personal and it gets brutal. It's as difficult for them as it is for you as well to find the right words and the right tone to get across to them. Make them aware of their shortcomings, but not demoralize them. That's a skill set to have separately as well. And if you have a lot of temperamental people in your team, especially like artists and people who take their work very personally, then it is a great skill set to specially hone. Third, but nonetheless very, very important, is the written communication skills, especially these days when almost everything has gone virtual. Even when you are working in the same office and you're physically present there, still everything is happening either on Slack or some other software like that, where people are essentially communicating online and it's all written down. And then there is that remote work revolution where everybody's working from home, working remote, and therefore you hardly ever get to meet them. While doing public speaking or interpersonal speaking with your team inside the office, at least you can gauge their responses. Before you see or read or say something to them, you can read their expressions, or you can kind of understand where they are, and then you can choose your words accordingly. But what happens when you're not seeing that person? You don't even know, what kind of mindset or workload or situation they are in. It's hard to kind of know how much to push, how much importance should you give to what you're saying or what you're demanding from them. So this skill has become more important than ever. Choosing your words, like if you write in capital letters, it might just be something you're putting in caps just because you think it's an important word, but to them, when they're reading that, that feels like shouting. So how do you make something look important but don't end up looking like you're shouting on the email? Also, people have these days gotten extremely casual with their mails. They often skip the finer things of writing an email or composing a text. They've become so casual, they don't address it properly, they don't end it properly. And those are few things, when done over and over, kind of shapes certain character for you, which you probably are actually not in real life. So it can come across as being either arrogant or not that invested or just not respectful. So those are, again, a few key things that you absolutely must keep in mind now that the world has gone not only virtual but also very casual. What is that right balance to strike? And what to do when an employee gets too casual with you in the communications? Because it's not face to face. You cannot really steer that conversation live. So that being said, I will try to make separate videos on each one of these skills separately so that I can break it down further. And if you want to be getting notifications, then do subscribe to this channel. And then I will be able to make more videos for you. It's a very new channel, so every time you subscribe, it makes a huge difference to me. It's not like just, oh, one more subscriber. It's like, oh my God, one more subscriber. So do subscribe to this channel. Let me know what more I can do for you. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what kind of a workspace you are working at right now. Is it remote? Or is it, kind of face-to-face workplace? And how are you going about your communication skills? If you have any interesting stories to share with me, feel free to share with me. I can feature them in my videos too. Thank you for your time. See you in the next video.